Who is in the mood for love? Ooh.
Ooh. So our girl Rashel asked us to do a video about how we met together. And for you guys that have been with us, we did our separate ones. So this might be a little bit of the same thing, but you'll get us feeding off each other too.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Ooh.
Censored all across the screen. So much for monetization in this one.
Oh my gosh.
But ladies first.
Okay, well, should I? Okay, going back a little bit before we met. I never had a boyfriend. I was 21. I've asked guys out before, but I get the same thing. Oh, I have a girlfriend going to a different school. I'm like, yeah, right, you do not, okay. But, and I'm kind of down about this whole situation, right? I mean, what 21-year-old, what 16-year-old, whatever does not have a relationship yet, right? So, and then my mom is suggesting to me, I need to settle down and meet a nice guy in a wheelchair, and I know me. I mean, I know my individual needs and problems, and maybe not problems, but stuff going on with me, and I'm like, Mom, no, why would I do that? I can't reach the top shelf at Walmart. If I meet a dude in a chair, he can't reach the top shelf at Walmart. Like, what? Come on now. So, but anyway, I've been going to camp. It used to be called Camp Sir Optimist, and then I forgot in my other video to say it was renamed Camp Summit, and so I've been going there since 1992. And it's a camp designed for to teach the counselors and whatnot how to help crips. And so, there's pictures of me around here somewhere about on a horse and on a ropes course, and we're swimming and doing all these things everyone else does at camp. And so, let me see, how far do I pace this? Well, why don't you start into on your end? So I've been going since 1992.
Oh, you're young.
Yeah, I think 12. I think 12 was my first, and it was the 6th grade or something. My school nurse, she pulled me over one day and she's like, Joey, I know about this camp. It's a week long. You'd be spending a week away from your family. It's outdoors, and she says, I don't know if you're into all that stuff. It's bugs, it's whatever, but she told me about it. And bugs.
And bugs.
And more bugs. And heat. And bugs. And more heat. And more bugs. And I'm like, hey, well, that sounds kind of awesome, because, I always like to do stuff outside of the house, but you guys have heard from my videos, I'm sure I really didn't get a whole lot of chances to do all that, and so this was really a nice thing. So of course, talking to my mom and stuff and get all that going on. Yeah, so 12 years old was my first camp, and it was usually in June, so not the hottest month, but getting there. So when did you start?
See, that's weird that we didn't meet, because you went there in 92. By that time, I'd been going there since 87.
Yeah, see, I've never seen him. Like, I swear, and I've no. These are the kids you grow up with. Like you're like, oh, it's you. I haven't seen you in a year. How you doing? All this stuff, and you're happy to see everybody, and so yeah.
I mean, course, I've always been a crip snob, and
But you're going to a camp with all cribs.
I know, but even then, I hung with my own clique. I mean, like like my boy Gene, you know, and he was about the only one that I really hung out with on a regular basis. I wasn't interested.
How old were you in 87?
87, I was, no, 87,
Oh, yeah.
I was 11.
Oh, okay, 11. So, yeah.
Because,
I would have been
because,
yeah. So, but when I was 12, you would have been about 14. We were just still but in the same age
yeah.
group. And so,
So we just crossed paths and didn't
maybe even I get. And they're separated by, girls and cabins and boys and other cabins and so. But there was many activities you would do together, and of course breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I mean,
there was no way. I mean, we had to.
and I'm like,
I mean, of course, guys, she didn't look anything like she does now.
I had this big old afro like this, like this thing on my head, like.
If I can find a picture, I'll put it on here.
And my hair was short afro, like seriously, like. But I don't recognize. I never like saw this guy in my life, right? So, so in 2000, a friend of both of ours, Tanya, and I had her in several years. She's been in my cabin. Like like I said, you grew up with the same kids and people, and so I've known her for years. And again, so I don't know how I guess she knew you from, but, and then by 2000, she started being a counselor, which is awesome because she has CP too. But hers is such that she can walk and she can do more than say, we can by ourselves. And so she was my counselor that year. It just says, hey Joey, there's this guy up here named Jason who likes to write because I've told her I'd like to write poetry and short stories and stuff like that, and she says you should meet him. Well, like she didn't tell me what cabin, like he's in Tejas or whatever. I think you were in Tejas, right?
Probably Cherokee. I did that a lot
Cherokee or Tejas.
In all the years.
I think you would. I had it funny. I think you were in Tejas.
Probably.
Because
whatever.
Because this is funny. Because the Megadeth song "Addicted to Chaos."
Oh, so
I started being like addicted to Tejas. So I'm like, because I actually knew somebody.
How funny.
In there. So, but yeah, she didn't tell me any of that. He was in such and such, or they're gonna do the ropes course this afternoon. There was no, So I did know a guy named Jason who I really didn't know that well. I knew of this guy named Jason, right? So I was gonna go up to him and ask him if he was a writer and such. But then I just happened to kind of look over. We're on the deck, the big old outdoor by the cafeteria, kind of the lounge place where you eat, and see this guy who I have never seen before, and I'm like, this is weird. Not even up to that day, like not it was whatever day it was, Tuesday or something. I don't know what day it was, but I didn't even see him until that point, and I'm like, well, I don't even know who this guy is. I've never seen him in my life. So let me just see what he's about, right? So he's a kind of approach behind him. And like he's talking to somebody, so I wait for them to finish talking, and then I said, "Hey, are you the Jason who likes to write?" Like, what did you think when I said that? When I initially, because I'm like, I just said that. Are you the Jason who likes to write? I didn't. Say, that was my introduction.
I wasn't. I was just being a nice guy, and I mean, it was just a straight answer or a straight question. So I wasn't like, "Who the hell are you?" You
Yeah,
know?
no. He's like, yeah, that's me, And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, because my friend Tanya, I think she's your friend too. And he's like, oh yeah, Tanya. I said, she told me I need to meet you because I'm a writer, and but she said we would click. We should get to know each other. So that was the initial, the initial go.
So, and um, my thing was, I had just gotten off a bad relationship. I was in the middle of trying to find my ex to get divorced. And so, of course, like Joey, I had a couple of people in wheelchairs that were my girlfriends, but it wasn't anything that I was wanting to pursue. And for the same reasons, I'm a crip. Why do I want to add more baggage on my baggage? I mean,
See, we already had something in common.
yeah, see, but it was, I mean, and that sounds like a jaded and cynical thing to say, but I mean,
But see, I think we were looking at it but both of our perspectives, I think were the same. Like, well, if if I can't help him, whoever, my boyfriend, whoever, if I can't help him do something because of my limitations, and that makes me feel bad and sad and sometimes mad, kind of, why would I want somebody to have to go through the same feelings as I'm going through? Like, why would I want someone to feel bad and sad and mad because they can't help me because they're the same as me,
yeah,
right?
it was a whole adequacy thing. Yeah. And so, and plus, I was getting off of a relationship. I didn't want to put that
Yeah,
baggage on
see,
her.
I didn't have a relationship at all, so that was he didn't want me to feel this other lady's whatever he had been through with her, and so it was just, but so we met, and then I really can't remember if the talent show was after or before. You
It was
say it was
before.
before? See, I thought it
It
was
was Tuesday.
after. It was Tuesday. Okay,
We met
so
on Thursday.
no, because Thursday I broke my ankle.
Oh,
We had to have met like Wednesday or something.
okay. It was Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, Thursday. I remember that day. So
She's really bad about not wearing her seatbelt.
and I mean, but it was a whole. Well, first she saw me at the talent show
Mm.
singing "Stabbing Westward." So I'm singing a rock song, and he liked that because he doesn't know a lot of Crips with that would do that, I guess. And then
And then
my tattoo
look at see that cross?
is not upside down, by the way.
No, see that cross right there?
That was my first tattoo.
That was the first thing that caught my eye, and that's why I
And we're gonna get a better picture for you guys, but yeah, I had that one tattoo, and I had my nose pierced at the time of us meeting.
and I just thought that was the craziest shit.
And so I got my hair down, singing this rock song. I got a tattoo. I got a nose ring. And he says he never saw, a crip like me. And so, and I was attracted to the writing because I'm a writer, and if, people who aren't writers, they don't get writers, and so I'm like, well, we already have something in common. I mean, we're both writers anyway, and we're around the same age. I learned he was 2 years older than me, so that was cool. Which, like I said before, age doesn't matter, but I mean, we were on the same maturity level. That's what matters. And so we were there, and we're writers, so we were there.
Mm-hmm.
And we both obviously liked outdoor and stuff because we go to camp, and so that wasn't, a big issue either. So we met that day, and then a day later, well, okay, first, before we left, then, well, I was asking all the guys because I asked all the guys. I mean, it wasn't like any big old thing, but we're about to part, and I said, hey, well, save me a dance on Friday because on Friday, that's like the last day of camp. I mean, the last full day, the last day is Saturday, but I mean, to throw a dance because it's nice and cool. Everyone gets to maybe, hang out with their friends for the last time that year, I guess. I said, save me a dance. To be honest, I wasn't, expecting anything. I asked all the guys. And so if you were a guy with eyes, I guess, or mind to, you would say yes. I don't know. Except for that one guy, he said no. But anyway,
All right.
yes. Well, he was a crip snob.
Not me. Guess there were two.
Yeah. So I'm just like, hey, see me dance. He says, yeah, sure. Okay. So cool. Next day, we're doing an activity in my cabin. Outside, and we're going over the grass, and everyone's taking the straight path. Okay, well, I'm in a big old tank chair, right? I got this fastest chair at camp at the time. Rear wheel, these big ass tank tires, and all this crazy nonsense. Part of my problem. Well, it wasn't because I was not wearing my seatbelt because I didn't fall out of my chair. The problem was I didn't have my free rest attached to the chair. I had taken them
Oh,
off
yeah.
and let my feet dangle. So everyone else is going this way. I know where to go, so I'm going this way, and I go woo, right into a ditch at 6.5 miles an hour. Coming back up the top of like basically my foot got caught between the ditch and my own caster, and I broke my ankle. It was like sideways, like for real, this way sideways, not this way sideways.
God.
Which you can see in other videos and such that I bend my feet, but my right foot is it does it's not as tight as my left foot, and it bent outward, and so yeah, I broke my ankle. I was in such pain. You could not believe. If you guys never broke an ankle, and that's one of the questions people ask us, one of their like reactions or shock when I tell them that I, crip in a chair, broke my ankle, and they're like, "What?"
How the hell did you do that?
Yeah. No offense to Jason or anything, but they had called one of the counselors, Josh, who at the time I thought was very cute, to pick me up and bring me somewhere, and I thought that was like, you know. So, but anyway, they asked me if I wanted to go home, and I'm thinking first of all it's Thursday. No, I mean I want to go home because first of all it's there's only 2 days left anyway. Um, Thankfully we did the majority of our activities. We rode horses already. We did the ropes course, my two favorite things. Swimming, I could care less. Yeah, I can't swim. I mean, it's good to get in the water, but it wasn't really a big old deal if I missed swimming. So he said, "Do you want to go home?" I said, "No." Besides, there's the dance. I brought my red dress, my high heels. And home. I mean, you guys hear from me all the time. Home was boring. Home was lonely. Yeah, I don't want to go home. I want to stay here forever. so, um, so he didn't know anything about it. I not see you until Friday again. So he didn't know anything about it, right? So tell me how you were getting ready for the dance and stuff. You were just thinking you had people. I mean, neither of us, I think, were being like, "Oh yeah, I got this hot date, la la la," like.
One of my old friends had come back and she was visiting, and so I was like glad to seeing her for a few years, and her name was Christy, and so I asked her if she wanted to go to the dance because she was visiting, and she's like, sure. And so we hung out, but we more or less hung out on the sidelines, and I could see that she had moved on from being in the camp mindset, and she was getting bored, and so of course, being the nice guy that I am, I walked her to her car, and we hugged and said goodbye, and then I went back to the dance to finish it, and I guess I just like literally ran into you
No.
because I didn't have anybody else to.
Yeah. And I was just idly, I mean, asking other people anyway, so it wasn't really, I mean, I was holding out for somebody, right? So he gets over there, and then he sees my bandaged up foot, and I brought these red high heels to go with my nice red dress, and then I had to wear a sock on my right foot, right? So he's like, of course he asked about it. I had to tell him I broke it. Well, I don't think I knew I broke it at the time. I think they were saying maybe it was sprained, but it hurt like mad, and so in fact that whole day, even on Thursday too, I was just trying not to cry, just doing stuff. They were helping me get on the toilet, get in bed, get shower, all this stuff, and I was just trying not to cry.
That
It
does
hurt.
suck
It hurt so bad. So,
because knowing
oh,
knowing what you do now and how you move around, there's no way you could have.
so I'm probably trying not to cry when I'm talking to him. I can't really remember, but I'm sure that's the way it went. Um, we ended up dancing like the rest of the at least what hour, at least the next
Something
hour
like that.
together, something. And then the night's over. They got to.
By the way, guys, I remember our first dance. It was Lone Stars Amazed. So, yes, a guy will remember the details.
So Saturday came.
Dum dum dum.
I'm thinking that's too bad because I mean I had a nice time. I met a nice guy. You know, I always bring my address book to get names and numbers and such, and I really kept up with a lot of the people over the years. I can't say now that I really know anybody, but I mean, it's been almost 2 decades later, right? But I was good about calling people, writing them letters, Christmas cards, so um, it was kind of funny. I was real nervous writing down Jason's address. I said, "Hey, what's your last name anyway?" And he says Rhody, kind of, like Rhode Island, but you pronounce the E. And I just totally like, how do you spell Rhode Island? Like Rhody. Like, so I put in my address book, I put Roady, I think. You told me, and I had to cross it out and put like Rhody, right? So,
Yeah.
so now, and then I'm asking him his address. He says he lives in Midland. I'm like, where the hell is Midland anyway? What is Midland?
What is Midland?
And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know. And he tells me it's like 6 hours away and stuff. I'm like, okay, well, that's cool, whatever, right? So, like, okay, this guy named Rhody that I spelled wrong lives in some weird place called Midland, which I don't even know anything about. I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. Anyway, so
Needless to say, she didn't think that it was going to go anywhere
yeah,
at that point.
misspelled your last name and everything.
Ah,
So, our parents came.
dum dum dum. Just kidding, Kathy.
To meet each
am I?
other's new
No.
friends, right?
Yeah.
Where am I? To meet each other's new friends. So apparently, his mom thought I was younger. I've always looked young, and thank you everybody for saying that. In fact, my caregiver today thought I was in my 20s. So that's totally awesome. But as I understand it, his mom asked him why he's hanging out with a 16-year-old. Which, 16 and 21, that wouldn't even be in the same group, right?
Nope.
I don't think so. And he's like, she's 21, mom. She's like, oh, okay. Well, he was 23, and so, well, yeah, really, for real. If you were 23 and I was 16, we
There's
really
no-
wouldn't have, no. So, But yeah, he's like, she's 21, mom. I'm like, oh, okay, whoops. I'm glad I look like I was 16. So, my mom thought it was nice, you know. I meet friends all the time. I had a very good friend for a long time from camp, and then when I got to high school, she was in my high school, and so that was awesome. So, I meet people, and so my mom was interested in my friends and stuff, and so we all seemed to hit it off, except for the whole age thing, I guess. um, so Jason's walking me to my van, which is the same van I have now. It's just been painted. Yeah, that van's 21 years old today.
today.
Oh, not today. Whoops, I did say today. This year, like in 2 months, it'll be 21 years old. It's half the age I am, and I call it my old man van. But anyway, he's walking me in my car, being a real gentleman. We're talking for a minute while my mom, like my sister went, and she likes to look at the horses because she's
Dum dum dum.
my sister and his sister really like the horses, and so she was off doing her thing for a minute, and I'm talking to Jason, saying my goodbye and everything, and he's on this side of me, my left, and he asks if he's like, do you want to be my girlfriend? And I'm like, well, I'm just in my head here. I'm like, well, okay, I'm 21, never had a boyfriend. This guy from Midland wants to be my boyfriend. I live in Plano, Texas, right? So, 6 hours away at that, speed limits and all that at that time. So yeah, sure, I'll be your girlfriend. That's basically what I said. Yeah, sure, I'll be your girlfriend. I really don't know what he thought. With maybe he thought it would be more romantic. I really don't know. But I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll be your girlfriend. I'm like, yeah, this will last 2 weeks. Yeah, okay, fine. That's cool. No, the commute time. I figured I'd never see him. Like, yeah, we'd phone date. I mean, but I just really didn't know. And plus, never having a boyfriend, I'm like, I I just don't know if I couldn't see you every day or at least every couple days. So, and then he wanted to give me a kiss. Okay, so yeah, I never did that either, right? What 21-year-old has never been kissed? Like that's only in the movies. No, this is my real life. Right? So I'm like, okay, I guess so. So I kissed him when it was wet, and I'm like, ew. I'm like, I don't think I like that. Okay, bye, boyfriend. I love you. Yeah. So we get home. My trip was what, maybe an hour? I think it was 45 minutes or an hour or something. His was 6 hours. Um, you know, I at the time, I mean, I loved the house that I lived in. It was the best house I ever had in my whole life. But coming back to it on a broken ankle, I gotta tell you, that was a bitch. That was. Because I crawled everywhere. Even now, I don't like to be in my chair all day. But now, I mean, I'm getting older and we don't have carpet. I mean, there's all these. But back then, if I wasn't in college or school or something, if I wasn't going to Walmart, whatever, I was out of my chair, all over the house, crawling around. When we moved, I lost some weight after high school because this house was bigger and I was crawling more. I mean, it was just. But try crawling on a broken ankle. It hurts. It was awful. So I really don't like my family to be listening in on my conversations, and so I had a phone in my room. But when Jason would call me, I'd be like, "Hey, okay, let me go to my room and I'll call you right back." Well, I really don't know, what, 10 minutes? My room was not 10 minutes away, I promise you. It was just
Good God,
getting
you had a
there.
house like that,
Yeah, don't you know we had all these secret passages and all these winding staircases and
huh?
all.
Here I am in my little box house, and
So yeah, it was just my ankle. Oh my, I could not do anything without my ankle killing me. But we phone dated for the next 6 months. Either he called me or I called him or both. Like we must have talked at least 2 or 3 times a day, at least, right?
Mhm.
And some of them were like an hour or maybe 2 hours, I think, or something. Like
3 hours in the
three
middle of the
hours
night.
maybe. Yeah, he'd call me at like 10:30 at night. We'd hang out till 1 or something. I don't know. It was. What are you doing? Oh, I'm watching the Flintstones. What are you doing? Just we got to know each other, of course. I mean, that was we met in June, and August I came to Midland for a week. His caregiver agreed to help me and everything, and so I came here for a week. It wasn't this house. We lived in another house, but it was nice and it was his, and so um, I stayed here a week. I got dehydrated, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, his neighbor. I was doing something on the bed, right? And my arm fell through and I went, oh, I fell right between the bed and the wall and I could not get up, right? And he had to call his neighbor. He went next door and asked his neighbor to help me up. I mean, in that week it was just so like it was crazy, but it was so much fun. Like I said, yeah, his neighbor had to help me up. I got dehydrated walking out in the heat one day. We were going to somewhere, and I'm really bad about drinking water, right? So
I started around town because I back then I walked everywhere.
he still pretty much does. I'm not kind of killjoy about that, but no, it's just this chair. I was good up until a few years ago, right?
Yeah, more
Yeah,
or less.
more or less. So, but yeah, um, now of course I only could look at it from my perspective. He said I love you first, which I don't know. To me, I was like, okay, I love you as a friend. I could say I love you, like, I love you because I say I love you to everybody. But, but I didn't exactly mean like I love you, my one and only soulmate. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And but about what 2 or 3 months in, I just literally woke up one morning, like literally got out of bed, woke up, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I think I love Jason. I have to call him up right now and tell him. Like seriously. And then there was one day over the phone because it was when was it? September? I don't even remember. We had our first argument, right? Our
Mm.
phone arguments are real things. Because we had our first argument and I was crying. You made me cry. Hundreds of miles away.
It wasn't intentional.
So I'm all crying. I'm so upset. We've had our first argument, and this is my boyfriend, right? And all this, and and and, and my brother came in. I don't even necessarily remember the situation, but he came in, and I told him that Jason and I had an argument or something like this, and he just told me it was gonna be okay, and Um, just give it some little bit of time, chill out a little bit, take it easy. Just my brother, he's so great. He's so great. Like,
Mm.
oh, I love my older brother. But yeah, our first argument, I was like, oh, I think it was September. I really don't know. Maybe it was October, September. I seem to think it was like still summer, so I don't know. But and part of it, I mean, I had to realize, well, I mean, I knew, I realized Jason's been married before. And part of it probably wasn't me, and part of it was me. I would say it takes two, and so I'm sure I did something to upset him or to trigger something, or. But, I mean, it's one of those things I had to realize I'm not his first, even though he was
Oh, I
my
remember.
first.
It was because you went drinking with Amberly.
Well, yeah, but I was 21, man.
I remember that was a dumb fight.
I'm like, I was 21, man. Come on now. Okay, so I went drinking with my friend. It was something about, I think he wanted me to go over to his house then, right? And I said I couldn't,
I don't remember. I just remember that
or
it was.
something, or maybe call him that night, or something. It was something. And I said I couldn't. And then next thing you know, I'm out with my friend, right? So that upset him. But that was my first time. drinking. Maybe that's what it was because it wasn't with you. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know something.
something like that.
But I got very drunk. We were mixing drinks. That was the first and only time that I do not remember what happened. So I told
It was
him.
your karma.
I told him all of this, and that's when he got upset. Like, well, you went drinking something. I don't know if it was without him or I really don't remember. But and then he was upset that I, but yeah, my first time to go drinking. We mixed a bunch of
I
drinks.
think I didn't trust him really.
Apparently, I threw up because she's like yelling at me the next morning, and I'm like, "What do you? Why? What's the matter with you?" And she's like, "I had to drag you to the bathroom, and you were throwing up." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Dragging a crip to the bathroom is like you might as well be dragging a dead body that squirms.
Because I mean, I'm not saying I get drunk all the time, but I remember, I'm like, oh man, I was so silly last night or whatever, right? I can remember I'm laughing at everything, I'm falling into walls, right? And, but no, I didn't remember a single. I don't remember throwing up. She said she put my pajamas on. I don't remember it. So maybe that's what he was upset about, the loss of control that I had. Like I didn't know what was going on. So yeah, I was upset, and I'm thinking, is this relationship gonna work out? We're not even like we're not together. We're just phoned it, and then he's already making me cry, and so I mean, what do you, I talked for a while. What were you?
Oh wow!
What were you thinking this whole time? Like, are you having your girlfriend? Like, what was, going through?
I I was wanting us to take that next step, and of course you'd already told me about your family life, and I knew that we could, if I could get you over here, that we could be. I could get you more independent, and you could do what you wanted to do. As far as you'd already said you were a writer and everything, but I didn't get that. I didn't get that. Getting published was.
Yeah, at the time it wasn't.
It wasn't like.
Okay, I had spirals. Did I tell you guys this? I had just spirals of my work, and I'm just writing them down. Of course, in story form. Good grammar, punctuation, all that stuff, but it's just written on a notebook paper
Which
with a pen.
Which isn't gonna get you published.
I'm gonna let Hollywood in while you're talking about us.
Okay. So
I'll be right back.
So guys, I know this is running long, but so when she came to visit, she had cut all her hair off, and she had long, long hair, and I thought it was really cute. I mean, I was very surprised, yes, but it wasn't afro. It wasn't advertised, but it was short. It was, and so we made plans for her to move, and at that point, that's when I went from being a good boy to a not so good boy in our family's eyes because they didn't think she was going to be moving out.
You know, I think I told you guys about that, and I really don't know what the situation is. Maybe it was just fear. I really think it was good intentions, but I don't. My
I
mom
don't
just
think so.
never thought I was going to move out, and she told me this. Like, oh, of all her kids, you know, I've got two brothers and two sisters, and she thought I would be there for the rest of, I guess, her life or my life or whoever's life, right?
Whoever died first.
And that's just the way, like, if I went to college, cool. If I didn't, okay, fine, whatever. I graduated high school, and so I really didn't get the impression, like, a lot, anything was put on me, like, to be
Anything.
anything, an adult, or I knew how to pay bills, so that was, I've been paying bills since I was 16, and that was fine. But as far as moving out or just doing something or landing a CEO job or just something. It wasn't really in the cards for me as far as my family was considered, I guess. And so when and I just moved to Virginia because in late September my mom just decided she wanted to move. Well, she had been saying that for like 2 years. And so right after high school, I graduated in 97, and I went to college for 3 semesters. That's a year and a half. But then the next year and a half or so, or a year, she's been saying she wanted to move to Virginia. So first I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm not going to start a semester in college if we're just going to move halfway through it. So I stopped going to college. Well, we didn't move till 2000. And so late September. So I met Jason in June, right? And this was like literally September like 27th or something. We finally move. And so I'm like, okay, well, you know, I don't know how this is going to affect my boyfriend, you know, my new life here, my brand new situation, right? We continued phone dating, which is, I mean, it was fine, but like Jason said, he wanted to take it up, not down, right? And so we went from living 6 hours away to living, what was that, like 20 hours or something? If you just drove it straight through,
It's
it
like
was something
17.
ridiculous, 1,700 miles or
Yeah.
something. So yeah, it was quite away from 6 hours, and I believe it was long distance to call anyway. I mean, yeah, of course it was because it was different cities, but now it's really long distance because it was different states, and we still maintained our phone conversations. But yeah, he's thinking we're going to get closer. It's coming up on, well, at that time, what, 4 months? I mean, which, you know, but you want things to either stay the same or get better, not someone move further away and get worse, right? So, my birthday's in October, and so I turned 22, and we're in Virginia, and I mean, it's real pretty. I liked it. I loved the scenery. It was beautiful scenery, beautiful temperature. The leaves change. It's fall. The leaves are getting, and that's what I've always, you know, I love. I really, but I'm 22, not going to college. I got a boyfriend. Oh yeah, you know. We're like, what am I doing in Virginia, right? And okay, maybe I was a little upset with my mom too for thinking I was the only one who would not move out because of my physical disability. Okay. I know I've got limitations and all, but I don't see, I didn't see why I would live with her forever. um,
Norma Bates.
Plus, I gotta be honest, I love the area that we lived in, but the house, it was like, um, well, I couldn't even, it had stairs in the front door and the garage. And if you know me, you know I love stairs, right? I like to climb them, especially when I was younger. It was exercise, it was cool, it was hard, yeah, but there was not even any ramps. Like, how am I going to even get in my house or out of my house or something? What, I mean, it was just, it was not a good situation. And to find a caregiver, the next town over, even though it was only a few blocks away, it was considered long distance. And nobody wanted to come out there, so I needed a caregiver. My house was barely accessible. I mean, this was a mess. My boyfriend was in Texas, so yeah, okay, I got that friend who Jason didn't like. Okay, but we had been friends for years, like since seventh grade. So
I didn't like her.
we were friends since seventh grade. So I had to. But I asked her. I said, "Hey, if I pay you a bus ticket to get up here, can you help me get back down to Texas? This is just something I need to do. You know, I felt like either um, move back down to Texas and be with Jason, or tell him that we have to break up because I was in Virginia. You know, I mean that. So, um, and so that was my choice. And I wanted to do things with my life other than sit at home all day and do nothing. So, December of 2000, about what is that, 6 months? June, like July, August, September, October. Yeah, 6 months after we met, I was 22, he was 24. I came down here and moved into his old house. And he was at work that day, which I knew. I knew I knew he was at work. We got to his house. We used your shower. Like,
Damn. Two girls in my shower and I wasn't even there.
yeah. Got home. Nice. Got home, took a shower. um,
Already owning my place.
yeah. Then I decided we're gonna go to Hastings, right? I'm gonna get Jason a present. I'm gonna go to Hastings. But I had only been to Hastings in August when I visited. So yeah, we got lost. Okay. We got lost going to Hastings. We ended up going to Libby's and eating lunch instead. Hey, girls gotta eat, right? But Jason got, like, he knew we were coming. He just, I mean, you know. But Jason got home, we were there, and so I mean that's basically how we met and everything, and how we held it together and made it work. I mean, of course, there was more. I had to, we had to learn how to live together, and then his being in a relationship before and my not being in a relationship before. I mean, there was all kinds of stuff that we had to figure out, but obviously, almost 19 years later, I mean, and we're probably still figuring stuff out. I mean,
every day is something new.
It's not just yeah. But I always say, and I said it before, if you love each other, it's not work. You just make it work, and you love each other, and it just comes together. People will say it's so hard, it's this, it's that, but I mean, maybe, yeah, it's challenging, I'll give you that, because I wasn't prepared for this guy coming off a divorce, and then he was thinking I was like his ex-wife, and I mean, I'm not blaming him at all, that's just probably what most people would think. I mean, if I was in a bad relationship, maybe I would be there too. I'd be like, oh well, this guy's gonna cheat on me. This guy is gonna do all this, and then he's gonna leave me and do and what that's I think to some extent what he had to work through, and but like yeah, if you love each other, it's not hard, it's not work, it's just love, and I think um I think we're proof of that. I mean, yeah, we have our stuff. Even now, I'm not gonna say it's all gravy, but I mean, it's just
Might be
love.
sludge
It's sludge.
every now and then.
There's sludge every now and then, guys. But you know, that's our story.
So you guys, you crip guys, if there's any crip couples out there, because we've been together, like she said, for almost 19 years, and we have never, ever met another couple personally. Never. So if there's any crip couples out there, tell us about it. Leave it in the comments for real, because I think I talked to somebody on Reddit, but we haven't gotten to meet them personally. So, guys, leave us comments. Tell us what's going on. You guys can do it. It's possible. So, I know this video went long, and
but if anyone had a quick 2-second story, then
it wouldn't be worth it.
yeah, I love our story.
Yeah, we met, and yeah, that's it.
We met and we're together. Bye. Have
Bye. Yeah. Yeah. See. Yeah.
See, we give you the guys the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah. We will not.
The beautiful.
Yeah. We will be totally transparent with you, and so you'll know our good times. You'll know our shit, and we expect you to call us on our shit. And
we're just people too,
So, Rashel, I hope this covered all the bases, and I hope you enjoyed it. And
thank you for asking us to do this.
And thank you for because it's a big part of our life, obviously.
No, it's just this little thing we did once.
Yeah, we did it. We saw how it worked out, and we moved on. So, anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the longer version of our story. And oh yeah, when we met, I was already calling it us Crips, and she didn't know how to take it at first.
Well, I didn't know how to take anything he did at first. You guys, I just told you how when he kissed me, I thought it was gross. When he said he loved me, I wasn't ready for that.
Thought it was gross.
I'm like, okay, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. But no.
Okay, guys. So,
love you.
If you like the story, like it, subscribe to us, and ring the bell for our next vlog. I think Joey's probably got another one she's conjuring up. She was brainstorming. And be good to each other. We love you. And did you have something? Oh, you took a deep breath like you were going to say.
I was going to say I'm going to do my weights in a minute.
Okay.
I got to get pumped, get buff,
Look at those guns. Okay. All right, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Oops. Take care and we'll see you later.